Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm making a cottage in the Sims 4 cottage living world. So this cottage is loosely based off of an image I saw on Pinterest that I can put up now. I really liked how lush it looked, and I really liked that there were different levels in the terrain of that house or cottage, I guess. So I wanted to recreate something similar to that in The Sims 4. This is only loosely based off of that image I saw on Pinterest because I only really saw the side profile of that house. So I couldn't really base everything off of it. I just wanted that different terrain level and that side profile of the house, which you'll see come together shortly. Now, I couldn't exactly copy everything, obviously, especially considering it is The Sims and it's not real. But I do end up really liking what I end up doing. It has 2 floors, surprisingly. It's quite a small cottage, I would say, but I managed to get 2 bedrooms in there as well. So 2 floors, 2 bedrooms, and 2 bathrooms, which is like ideal for a house in The Sims, I would say. There's not much room to grow, though, I would say as well, because I was limited on space, mainly because I wanted this to have such a huge garden landscape area, so the house is small in comparison to the lot itself. And of course, if you end up liking this and you wish to download it, I'll have it up on the gallery. My information is all in the description if you want to check it out. You could always make adjustments to my builds as well if there's something that you don't like, or particularly how much I landscape this. You'll see in a bit, or you might have seen in the screenshot at the start. It's definitely very lush. Not that that's a bad thing either. So this is also the first time that I'm using terrain tools for a build, and that's not me just saying like for the purpose of this YouTube channel. Like, this is my actual first time testing out terrain manipulation. Like, I don't usually do it, so I'm still getting the hang of it, and I had to cut out a lot of sections where I'm just trying to understand how it works and messing around with it to try and get the perfect terrain manipulation that I'm looking for. By no means is it perfect what I end up with, and I still definitely can learn and grow from this point that I'm at right now. Not to say that my landscaping isn't there. I definitely think I've worked so much with my landscaping that I like where I'm at with it. I do tend to go overboard sometimes, which you'll see, I think, in this video. There was a point where I should have just stopped, but I have a too much gene where I tend to just add and add and add, and then there's no going back, for me at least. So if you end up placing this a lot, feel free to delete a huge chunk of terrain, like landscape, if you wish to. I did playtest this build. It should all work, and if it doesn't, I don't, maybe it's just a bit laggy because of all of the landscaping I've done. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it should be okay. As some of you may know if you've seen my other videos, I recently purchased the cottage living and the eco lifestyle expansion packs. I don't have all of the expansion packs and like stuff packs and everything. Like I don't have all the Sims 4 content because it is quite expensive, and I haven't been making content for the Sims 4, so it's not like I have the revenue to, you know, say that I could purchase all of them. If I were a more distinguished simmer, then maybe I would have them all, but I don't. So for now, this is new for me. The cottage living is new for me, so I've been enjoying using the new content for me, and that's why you'll be seeing a bit more of it from me. I haven't really even played much with it. I've mainly been building, so there may be some new content coming out with me playing stuff. I do want to try out the new, I think it's a game pack that just came out. The Home Chef, I don't know what it's called, but the newest like home cooking whatever game pack that they just released literally yesterday. I do want to try out that, so I might purchase it. We'll see if it's in the budget. But if I do end up purchasing it, I will be making some content on it. If not, I will also just be using the get to work aspect of baking. Like I kind of want to own like a little bakery and have a little let's play where I'm trying to make money off of just baking, kind of like a rags to riches, but I might not start off like on $0 because I want to just actually get right into the actual baking. So we'll see. I'm not exactly sure yet, but I do have a bakery that I placed and I like renovated it to what I want. So I have a feeling that's what I'm going to end up doing sometime shortly. So you can watch out for that in the future. I should probably talk a little bit about the build. So as of right now, I've kind of done the base of the cottage itself. It's pretty much finalized at this point. I have the color scheme that I wanted. So I wanted it to be a bit more put together than like a rustic cottage. I was going for a little bit of an English style, but not exactly, because I know they're not exactly like this. So I don't know. It's a mix match of styles in my opinion. But I definitely wanted to add the English style for the brick wall around the front. That's like a common thing if you are in the UK. It's just like a lot of homes have like a brick fence area in the front of their houses. So I definitely wanted to add that. And I really like the gate in the front as well, like that. I find that so cute. And I wanted the landscaping to be kind of cohesive, especially in the front. Like I wanted it to just look like a bunch of the same kind of flowers and colors all mixed matched. So I did do that. I like what I end up doing, but I think it was a little bit overkill. So I tried to thin it out as I went down this side of the build, just because I didn't want it to be too overbearing. I also have been enjoying putting like vines and greenery up the side of the wall. I think that's also common for, this type of house. It probably would have old vines and shrubbery growing up the side of the house. The upkeep would probably be hard, and they would just let their vines and shrubberies do whatever it is they want to do. So I liked adding that. It also helped add some extra detail to the sides of the builds, because the sides don't really have that much. I find that's typical of Sims builds, at least in mine. The sides of houses are always a bit more bare than the front and the back. Mind you, the back of this build really didn't have to be all that special, because the garden is to the side of the build, not the back. So I didn't really have to do too much to the back, especially since it's on raised terrain. Like, you're not really going to be going to the back of the lot for anything. I also wanted to enclose a side portion of the garden, because I wanted to have garden plots and a chicken coop. So I wanted it to be closed off sections. And this is kind of where I veer off from the inspiration image that I saw. So as of the side profile that I got, it didn't really have this on the back portion of the garden. Mind you, it doesn't really show the whole garden space, but I kind of just took liberty and did what I wanted to do. So I probably should have left the brick kind of bare without any more shrubbery and stuff, but I end up liking what I do. I kind of just add a bit too much, and it has an overgrown feel, but it's not the worst. It could have been worse. I also add a second staircase leading down out of the enclosed garden area, just because I felt like it was a good idea to have access to the outdoors from both ways. So if you were out in the garden, you wouldn't have to go through the entire house if you wanted to get off of the property. I just felt like that made sense to do. I also found it difficult to place trees on this build. I didn't know which trees would look good, and the landscape around had so many luscious trees. That's particularly why I picked this lot. If you are curious, it's called Cornelia's Secret Cottage or something. It's in the cottage living world, and it's the top lot. So it's secluded. So you would expect there to be quite a bit of trees covering the landscape around, because it's supposed to be secret, right? So it's also high up, which I guess wouldn't really make sense for farmland, because typically you want to be down where there's more moisture in the soil, so by water or anything like that. But anyway, we're not going too realistic here. I actually really enjoy what I end up doing for this garden space area. It's probably my favorite part. This enclosed garden space is really cute. I loved putting the archway leading down to the stairwell out of the garden, and I liked using the little clutter items. I use hay bales and wagons, and those little mushrooms that are just really cute. I know they're actually seats, but they're so cute for little decor items. I also ended up cutting quite a bit out of the landscaping, so you can see it just cuts to me like having stuff more finalized, and that's because this build took me almost 4 hours to do. I was spending way too much time doing this build, mainly because I was being particular with what I wanted, and then I was being indecisive at the same time. So it just kind of cuts to me having a lot of stuff finalized for the outdoors, but you'll get to see it all like in screenshots, so don't worry. But anyway, I basically just landscaped the front garden area, so that's like where the main front door is. I put like that overgrown well from Get Together, I think, and on this side like area of the house where it's not connected to the side garden, and it's not connected to the front garden, I basically just put a barbecue. I lost the word. I was gonna say fireplace. It's not a fireplace. So I put a barbecue there and some seating, and I think I put some other like working table. I don't remember which one it was, but anyway, it's a skill building table that you can use. I just wanted like an extra section, and I mean that's easily changeable for your needs as well. So I just wanted like a paved section that wasn't garden space, so you could just have that as a skill building or a lounging area, whatever you want. Now we're kind of just working on the inside of the build, and you can see I start off with the kitchen, and I also skipped doing like the layout of the build just because it took me a little bit to finalize that, and I still also wasn't even finished finalizing the like placement of walls and everything at this point. You can see I kind of just like jump right past to where I like finalized it just because I wasn't sure how I was gonna lay it out. I wanted closed off rooms, but I didn't know if I had enough space, so I wanted to do the kitchen first just to make sure I had space for a big enough kitchen, and then I also wanted the dining room table to be in the same space as the kitchen. Also because I didn't really have enough room to do it anywhere else, because I wanted a living space and another like skill building area with a desk. Also, I wanted a bookcase, so there was just a lot of stuff that I had to like take into consideration when I was building the rest of this place. It is quite small, and when you add walls, it makes it even more small. It helps to like divide your spaces, but it takes up space at the same time. I also had no clue what wallpaper I wanted to use. I'm not particularly good at making these like older style houses, so I never know which wallpaper to use. I typically lean towards using ones that have like the wood base. I just think those end up having more of a vintage feel, I guess. Not particularly vintage, but older style, I guess. Yeah, you can make it modern if you use like lighter woods, like white or something, or black, but when you use the beige undertones and like blue, and you pair it with that like pink tile, like I used pink tile in the kitchen with blue cabinets, like to me that screams like 90s or something. I don't even know, maybe not even 90s, maybe even like 70s. The 70s had a lot of like colored tiles and colored walls and cabinets. Like I think my grandmother still has her bathroom like fully mint green. Even the toilet is mint green. Anyway, I'm not judging my grandma, by the way. I love her and her mint green bathroom. To me, it just reminds me of an older style. So that's what I like leaned into. And maybe this place would have been renovated a little bit, possibly, but I imagined kind of an older woman living here with maybe a grandchild, like maybe one of her grandchild, like, or granddaughter maybe, decided that she wanted to live with her grandma instead of her parents, or maybe her parents passed away and now she lives with her grandma in her little farmland area. Or maybe not. I mean, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. I definitely think it would have been updated a little bit, because I tried to lean into the vintage style, but it's hard. It's hard for me. So I love what I do with the living space. It's very small, like super small, but I found that it was cozy and I loved the wallpaper. I think it added so much extra detail to that tiny little space, so it makes it feel more cozy. And I love the little basket I use, and that like 2-seater couch is perfect for this style in my opinion, so I had to use that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that space. Like there's not much I could have done with it, so I kept it very basic and I didn't want to overdo it, so I just put a couple of picture frames on it as well, like on the walls, just because in a room like this, I mean, you'd imagine an older woman would have picture frames on a lot of her walls, just of memories and stuff like that, but I didn't want that particular living space to be too overbearing, especially when the wallpaper is kind of like the art in that space to begin with. So I just wanted to make sure that I didn't overdo it, especially in such a small area. I think I also end up cutting out a portion of me doing the upstairs hallway area. It's basically just putting a desk and an easel, I think. So yeah, there's not much that you miss. It's basically, I just put a desk and an easel, but there was too much for me to record. Like, there was too much for me to add into the video, so I end up not putting everything. So the wallpaper you see me put in the hallway upstairs, I end up changing for one that doesn't have that like extra border within the middle. So it is the same concept, it's just one without the extra middle bit, just because I felt like it was too much for a hallway. It just seemed like, I don't know, it was overbearing. It was too much. I definitely enjoyed putting those curtains that I never use. I don't think I've ever used those curtains, but I felt like they fit perfectly in this space. They just seemed like old grandma type of curtains, like vintage curtains, you know? I also ended up having to change the archway, and honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have changed both archways to be the single tile spaced ones, just because I think that the bigger archway is just too big for when you have smaller spaces. I know it does open up the living space a little bit, like it makes it seem not so tiny, but I probably would have made it a little bit more cozy feel if I had used the smaller archway, but whatever. If you want, you could change that. I also found it a struggle to furnish the main bedroom because it was such an awkward layout, and I could have closed it off and made like a closed off closet or something, or like a third bathroom, but I didn't feel like it made sense. Like, to me, this weird shaped bedroom is vintage feeling. Like, it just, once you start like closing off even more and making like a closed off closet or a second or even third bathroom, it feels like it's been renovated. So I wanted this to feel more like it was an older style of house, and an older style of house would have weird layouts, you know, like, I don't know, I just, in my mind, that's how I saw it. So I kept the weird layout for the main bedroom, and also it looks cute in the end. I mean, you have one side where it's where you would put all your clothes, like that's kind of your closet space, and then you have a little viewing area on the other side where you can sit and read, or you can show off your outfit in the mirror, I don't know. But anyway, that's most of the video done. I don't think I end up showing the bathrooms just because they were very basic. You'll see them in screenshots, of course, but bathrooms are just plain bathrooms. Like, I don't know. I tried to use tiles in the bathroom that seemed kind of old. I didn't go full on mint green like my grandma's, but maybe I should have. Maybe I should make a build that's like basically my grandma's house, because that for sure is vintage. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I do the last bedroom that definitely seems more on the girly side, but I mean, it doesn't have to be, but I think it kind of is. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please leave a like, or subscribe if you want to see more from me. And maybe if you subscribe, I'll do the mint green bathroom. We'll see. Anyway, have a lovely rest of the day. Goodbye.